Thank you all so much for being here with us today. We're so honored to have each of you on the roof with us. Not a bad way to start your weekend, right? Special thank you to the Natural History Museum for hosting us on this beautiful, lovely venue. If you haven't heard, you can see the skyline of San Diego, the Coronado Bridge, some mountains in Mexico, our mountains to our east. So we really have a terrific view here. So thank you very much, Dr. Hager, for hosting us. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Jessica Travis with the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, and it's my pleasure to take care of the Sustainability and Community Relations sections for the Cultural Partnership, which is exactly why we're all here today. This event is thanks to a wonderful partnership with Rexel and their interest in how we've been greening the park with the help of many of you in the audience today, to SDG&E's help since 2008, to the City of San Diego from, I guess we can say, what, 1868? So I'm excited to be up here today with my co-architect in this event, Andrew Horner. He has made planning an absolute pleasure, and for any of you who know him or maybe saw him 30 seconds before we went up here, Andrew has his cell phone glued to his head at all times. And the second thing that everyone knows is he has this amazing knack for bringing people and ideas together, which is exactly why this partnership has formed. So I'm going to embarrass him a little bit, but he was recently named the Electrical Distributors Top 30 Under 35, which is a huge deal. So let's all give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Jessica. I do appreciate that, and thank you all for being here today. A lot of familiar faces in the crowd, and we really couldn't do this without the help of Jessica. She's really put a lot of hard work in today. As Jessica had said, I work with Rexel, Inc. here in San Diego County. I am the Energy Solutions Specialist here on the west coast of the United States. Rexel is a global electrical distributor with a local presence. And, you know, growing up in the park and really forming a relationship with Jessica and giving back is very important to me. And I remember the times when I used to spend over in the fountain, you know, as a child, my parents trying to get me out of there, or at the Reuben H. Fleet Science Center. So, you know, forming this partnership is very, very important to what Rexel has done. And now that we're part of the sustainability in park is very important to me and myself. So I do appreciate everybody being here today, and we hope that you can see some of the impact that sustainability has done to the park, and at some point realize that giving back is very, very important as well. So again, I hope you guys are staying cool. We know it's hot out today, and we couldn't do it really without Jessica and the BCBG team. So thanks again.
And we would also be remiss if we didn't say a special thank you to someone in the audience where I haven't seen him yet. Is Travis Nixon here? So I think he might be setting up. But Travis introduced Andrew and I over a year ago, and this amazing partnership has formed. And it's not because Andrew and I are really spectacular people. You can tell us that after we talk, we know. But it's really the potential that can come from getting people across industries together, bringing ideas together, and seeing what we can do with each other. So I really hope that we see more types of things emerge from this event where we can start to partner and develop new ways for Balboa Park to be green.
Great, and I think it's important that we do call out everybody in the crowd that has come here today. I know you're taking time early afternoon Friday, and hopefully you'll be able to ditch some traffic on your way home. But enjoy yourself while you're here, and there's a lot of people in the crowd that we should be thanking. We'll make sure we send those thank yous individually, but we really couldn't do it without Balboa Park Cultural Partnership and two superior people, Kelly Haggerty of Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, as well as Kelly Nolan of Rexel, our marketing manager. Without them, this would not be possible. So thank you again. We hope you guys have a great time and kind of can see everything that the park can do to give back to you as individuals and give back to our community.
And even though we don't have individuals to thank, I would like to thank two very large groups. Our Sustainability Council, you have provided such leadership and forethought for the sustainability program. I see many of your faces here. Thank you for that. Welcome to Rexel for being our new partner. And we are looking forward to having more events like the Partners Breakfast in October, a very successful Sustainability Expo to follow. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring up some of our honored speakers. First is Dr. Mick Hager, who is a BPCP board member, one of the first few who started formulating the idea for the Cultural Partnership many, many years ago. And Dr. Hager started his museum career in 1965. He's been with the San Diego Natural History Museum as a chief executive officer and the president since 1990, is it 1995? 91, I almost did you 4 years. And he also founded the Environmental Science Education Center and the Biodiversity Research Center of the Californias. And if that's not enough, he's also the award-winning executive producer of Ocean Oasis, a 5 million large format film about Baja California. Dr. Hager?
Got some comments right there. Well, that was a nice introduction. I'm often known around here as the chief fossil because I've been around here so long. So we're really happy to be hosting you here today for the Greening of Balboa Park event. As you might have noticed on your way in today, Balboa Park is truly a wonderful and unique place. We are 85 plus organizations working with the city to operate this community gem. A decade ago, a group of executive directors, including me, got together and formed the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership to identify and collaborate on issues of mutual benefit and importance. Today, we have 28 member institutions, a park-wide pass that grants general admission to all 17 museums, a learning institute to foster professional development, and of course, the sustainability program, the reason that we are here today. It's wonderful to see you all come together and discuss the sustainability issues of Balboa Park. I'd like to thank our partners and speakers for today, Lisa Davidson, SDG&E Director of Customer Programs, John Gerber, VP of Sales and Marketing at Rexel, and District 3 Council Member Todd Gloria. The museum is very proud to be a leader of greening practices in the park. The NAT was the first of several buildings in the park to become LEED certified, and we have implemented energy efficient HVAC and lighting systems and practices which you'll see today on the tour. As a natural history museum, it is part of our mission to take care of our environment, but it is the responsibility of all museums to help conserve resources and to run sustainably. Through the BPCP sustainability collaboration and sharing of our success, Balboa Park will continue to be a leader in the field. SDG&E has been a strong supporter of this work for over 7 years, and it is my great honor to welcome Lisa Davidson to tell you more about the wonderful results they have helped us to achieve. As I mentioned, Lisa is Director of Customer Programs for San Diego Gas and Electric. In her current role, she is responsible for overseeing SDG&E's energy efficiency and demand response programs. Lisa joined Sempra in 2001 and has held positions in regulatory affairs, finance, and external affairs at Sempra and SDG&E. Lisa?
Thank you for the introduction. When we first opened conversations with Balboa Park Cultural Partnership about sustainability opportunities, we were excited about the possibilities and the enormous potential for saving energy in the park, and particularly in historic arts and cultural institutions. The 8-year sustainability collaboration between SDG&E, the City of San Diego, and the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership has made it possible to achieve significant savings and environmental sustainability goals. Through our partnership, over $4 million has been invested in energy efficiency, which has resulted in an annual savings of $1.3 million and 8.6 million kilowatt hours of electricity. That's the equivalent of taking 1,300 cars off our roads. An impactful benefit from these efforts is the cost savings for the park's many nonprofit cultural institutions that contribute so much to our community and our city. We're very proud that these organizations are able to put what would have been spent into their energy bill into their programs instead. These tangible results are driven through education, outreach, and collaboration. Building on the successes of energy efficiency as our foundation, the sustainability efforts within the park have expanded to include water conservation, responsible resource use, increased waste diversion, and LEED certifications. We've enjoyed strengthening our role within the park to beyond just the energy provider. We now play an active and diverse role within the park that includes energy efficiency, building awareness of our programs, from providing resources to our community through projects such as electric vehicle charging and renewable energy. Needless to say, we're very proud to call Balboa Park our home away from home and a strong community partner. Thank you.
So those are some really impressive numbers. Thank you so much, Lisa. And thank you for the amazing all-star team from SDG&E. We were joking that they need some kind of superhero name. We couldn't really come up with something, so I won't even throw out the embarrassing names that we came up with. But something that's, I won't. But we have some posters behind you. I was handing out our annual report as well. Those same stats that Lisa was mentioning are at the bottom. And so we're really, really proud of all that we've been able to do. And we're especially proud of different types of partnerships that we've been able to form now that we've kind of laid the groundwork. And there's plenty more work to do. Kimberly Ketron tells me every day that I see her that there's something new, a new project that needs to be done. So with all the support that we have on their roof, we can do this together. So with that, I'd like to welcome another community partner of ours and tonight's sponsor, Rexel. There is evidence of Rexel work throughout the park, and some of you who don't know exactly what they do, you'll learn a little bit more as we go through our walkabout today. I'd like to invite John Gerber, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Rexel Inc., to come join with me. Something that I recently learned about John that I really have to share is that at his time at Purdue, he was a part of a quartet group that performed at the Sydney Opera House, and he performed for 6,000 individuals, and I hear that one of them was the President of the United States of America?
I have sang for a couple presidents. The internet. No one needs this. No one needs the internet at all. Yeah.
So you've made a name for yourself. Thank you for all your support in the park. We couldn't be doing what we're doing without it.
Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. I can't tell you how proud we are to be part of the Balboa Park's cultural program. It's been a couple years now that we've really been working specifically with the park on really trying to get it, trying to bring our expertise in technology and product intermixed with the needs of not only the park but California. And I remember the day specifically that it kind of all started. And Travis Nixon, who I believe has joined us in the back, hi Travis, came running into my office one day and said, I don't know you, but one of your employees told me you can fix my lighting problem. And then it's grown from there to several projects that we've had a chance to work with both Travis and Jessica and throughout the park, which we'll see today. But it's so important because as we look at energy efficiency, in the 21st century, 40% of energy usage in America is actually used by commercial buildings and residential buildings, right? So we hear a lot about big oil, and we hear a lot about needs of industrial plants spending, and cars, and how much electricity and energy they use. But the reality is that buildings and businesses and homes use more energy than any other individual function combined. And so what the park is doing here by being such a leader is incredible, because the tens of thousands of people who come and visit Balboa Park, the jewel of San Diego, every day get to learn a little bit more about how do we take care of our planet and how do we have a better future for our children. And that's really what I love about working with all of the people. I mean, if you've met Andrew Horner or you've met Jessica or you've met Travis and the people that I've gotten a chance to work with, what is true is this isn't a job to them. They love energy efficiency, and they love what they do, and they love our planet. And they want to make Balboa Park really be not only a jewel of San Diego, but a beacon for everyone who wants to learn about energy efficiency and really make this a better place. And without them, a lot of this wouldn't happen, and we cannot thank them enough. So with that, I would like to introduce Councilman Todd Gloria.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everybody. Don't worry, I'm at the end of the program, so you are going to have your behind-the-scenes tour just shortly. But I wouldn't miss an opportunity to come here and to talk about my council district. Some of you know I get the great honor of representing Balboa Park down at City Hall, which means I have the best job in the world. Am I right? And yeah, Mick agrees. And Mick, thanks for hosting us. Thank you, Rexel. Thank you, SDG&E, and of course the Cultural Partnership for making the park such a special place to be. This day is starting and ending really well. I started this morning with Environment California to announce the fact that San Diego is one of its shining cities. So out of 65 cities evaluated across the country, we are number 2 when it comes to the adoption of solar and just general best practices when it comes to the environment. Now, I think that's worth a round of applause. You'll say number 2, who's number 1, right? LA. And as a San Diegan, I'm constitutionally required to find some way to beat LA. Am I right? We'll help you. Thank you, SDG&E. I will say that the truth is, when you look at the trend line, though, we are getting more aggressive than LA. We will soon beat them. You have, mark my word, I'm a perfectionist, so we are going to win, all right? But if to the extent that we're able to do that, much of the work that is allowing us to get national accolades like the one we got this morning really come here from the park. Because we're pioneering and we're working through so many projects here in this park and then really replicating them elsewhere in the community. Some of you are familiar that during my time as mayor that we put forward an aggressive climate action plan that would put San Diego on a path towards 100% renewable energy by 2035. We're at roughly 1/3 today. We can get that remaining 2/3 with enough aggressive action and with the help and support of people like all of you on the rooftop here this afternoon. But some of that work's been pioneered here. Just look over my shoulder at the solar array on top of the fleet. Think about what Mick was saying about the work that's going on here, or the fact that by the end of this year, we will have 10 buildings in the park that are LEED certified. Now, that's a pretty big deal, right? But let's not forget, many of these buildings are 100 years old. So to turn those into LEED certified buildings is an incredible thing. And the reason I think that happens is because the park, as has been mentioned a couple times, is our city's crown jewel. It is the place that we all love. Am I right? Raise your hand if you love Balboa Park. Of course you do. Of course you do. 10 million people a year come to Balboa Park to take in, obviously, the natural beauty, the architecture, the cultural institutions. 10 million people to come and see what we're doing here. I think when it gets to the environment, I think is really important. And so we have to lead. And I always like to take the opportunity just to remind you to think back to what we were in 1915 when the park, as we know it, came to life. You think we were a city of just 40,000 people who had the audacity to put on what was essentially a World's Fair. And what happened was 3 million people came to our city, our little town of 40,000, over the course of 2 years. That was audacious, right? That was big thinking. And we want to do something similar because we think about the gift that those folks back in San Diego in 1915 gave us in terms of this magnificent space, right? So the question for everyone on this rooftop today and every San Diegan in this city is what are we going to do similarly audacious for the next 100 years? What are we going to do that's going to have folks in 2115 look back at what we did and feel as though that we got it right just in the way that we look back with reverence to the folks back in 1915? And I tell you that it pretty much starts and ends with sustainability. If we can do all that we can to preserve and protect this park, particularly from an environmental standpoint, this park will still be here 100 years from now. And it will still be a magnificent and beautiful place that people will want to come to. So that's our challenge. With the help of the Cultural Partnership and the sort of cat herding that Peter does back there, we're getting it done. And we are having those 10 LEED certified buildings, the solar arrays that you're seeing, the water conservation that's occurring. Really across the board, the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and really the promotion of sustainability. There's so much that's going on here. And some of you have played a role in that. And for those of you who have, I appreciate it. For those of you that have a skill set that we can bring to bear to make this go even further, I'd ask you to get involved. Get involved with the Cultural Partnership. Join one of the boards of the cultural institutions here in the park. Find some way to do your part in the way that, again, those folks did 100 years ago and for which we're still grateful. There's so many wonderful things going on in the park, and as I said a moment ago, it starts here in the park, but it's really going to permeate our entire city. So that in a few years from now, not only will we beat LA when it comes to that nationwide study, but we will be on the leading edge, not just in California, not just in the United States, but around the entire world when it comes to the issue of tackling global climate change, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and really protecting our planet for the next generations. I think that is audacious. I think it's completely within our ability as San Diegans to get it done, and I hope that you would join me, our mayor, and the city council in getting that job done. It is so very, very very important that we do it. Again, to everyone who's had a role in this, thank you for what you do. And if you haven't gotten involved just yet, come see me after. I'm going to put you to work, okay? Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy your afternoon.